Hi, my name is Don Derwin, and I wanted to make a video of the 747-8 PMDG version and the FS 2020 747-8, from the Microsoft version, and also to see the differences between FSX and 2020 and do it in the same flight. And I wanted to use the same numbers, the same parking spot, and just see what the differences are. And so anyway, we'll be taking off from Denver International Airport to Seattle, Washington, Tacoma, Washington International, and it'll be a 2-hour flight. And anyway, how I got interested in aviation a long time ago, I just wanted to become a pilot, see if I could do that. And so I flew gliders first, and then I went over to, I thought it was going to be cheaper, to fly gliders, because you don't have an engine, except I didn't figure out that, it's actually more expensive because you got to also pay for the glider and then an instructor and then a tow plane to tow you up, so it's actually, more expensive than engines. So, and then I started flying single engine land, and I got about 500 hours, and then I joined the U.S. Navy, and I became an aircraft mechanic. I was thinking about maybe becoming a flight engineer in the Navy, but that never happened. I could have, but I was just so sick and tired of the Navy after 4 years. I just wanted to get out. But to me, I think I might have been better if I would have stayed in, but I'm not sure. But I don't know. I got out and I got sick of it. But anyway, this is something that I got from the Airman's Information Manual right here. It's different altitudes that you fly at, one way, so you don't hit each other, And there was one incident when I was actually flying in my airplane, and we're just flying along, and all of a sudden comes fly by airplane flying right by me. It's like, whoa, what happened? And it's like, man, I didn't see that coming, but it's coming pretty fast. You figure 250 mile an hour closure rate, something like that, or 440 or something, But that's pretty quick, and but we were flying at the right altitude, so we missed each other. So that would be, that's why they devised that up. And I try to sometimes, if I remember, to fly at the correct altitudes, if you're going west or, east. But anyway, I just got that Airman's Information Manual, which is probably good for anybody to read. It's good for learning a lot of aviation stuff. But that I just picked up and copied it. Then here is the actual numbers to the flight. And this, what I got here is a plain copy. You can copy and paste this if you like, like the other thing, copy and paste it, stop the video, and what do? You just go print screen, then you just open up a picture like a JPEG picture, and then paste, paste into it, and then you can have that same thing there. It's really easy. I learned that from somebody on TV who was, describing it, and it's like, oh, I use it all the time. Anyway, just here's some stuff that I picked up, over the years, and this piece of paper is how I put all my flights on there, and it has the VREF, V1, VR, and then flap retraction. This is for the 747 400, and the max angle. You can take a VREF speed, then plus 100, and then VZF, that would be max angle. And then you can get the max rate. The formula for the max rate is VZF plus 25. So you take this speed, put it here, and then you get the max rate here. And then this is approach and landing. And then here's some stuff here, pretty self-explanatory right there. And but here's the numbers for the actual flight that I'm going to be using, and I will compare the numbers from the PMDG to the V1, VR, all those speeds, and I'm going to use the same exact weights and see how the Flight Simulator 2020 comes up. And I know it's not as technologically advanced as like the PMDG is. They really go in depth. I really like their stuff, and it's actually this. I was trying to make a 747 of my own, doing with the Gmax and writing the code, and I did, do some stuff, but for maybe 4 years, but it's really hard. It's pretty complicated. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Actually, the XML code. It's all. It's actually not so easy. It's pretty complicated stuff. But anyway, here's all the numbers here, and you got to appreciate PMDG, for how well their products work, and it is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But anyway, here's the actual numbers for the flight if you want those. And then another thing that I came across is I know there's a spot in the PMDG where you can put in the slope of the runway, and I've never been able to actually figure out. It's like, where do you get the slope? And I happen to remember in the airman's information, or not the airman, the airport facilities directory, they do have all the slope in it. Or I remember that, and I just happened to I just found it, just the other day, and they actually have a website, Federal Aviation Administration, so there it is right there. You want to copy that or try to search it yourself, but I found it, and then here's the didn't cost anything or anything, just a website. And then here's the and actually I didn't even think that worked, but here's the Colorado for Denver International Airport. This is runway 26, and I would try to take off 26 before, but something happened with the flight. I think airplane got stopped there and I couldn't do it, so I figured I'd take off on a different runway. But anyway, it says 0.5% up, and that's the slope right there. And I put in 0.5 when the PMDG, where you're supposed to put it, and it says up, so it was correct information, I guess, because I suppose it got to be correct, and it accepted it, so hey, maybe try looking airport facilities directory for the slope. But I never really used it before. But anyway, that's just some information there. And oh, here's the waypoints. That I use. I'm going to make my own flight plan, and those are the waypoints you have to put in there. It's really good that a lot of them are VORs, because the FSX don't have all the waypoints in there. But anyway, if you wanted to look at that or copy it or paste it, if you want to try to do the same flight or whatever, you could. But whatever, maybe not. But anyway, there's that stuff. But so anyway, here's the flight simulator, and I will I plan on doing the whole pre-flight. Right now I'm in the, at gate A37 over at Denver International, and I'm going to take off. It's 4 o'clock in the morning right now. I like the one thing I really like about the flight simulator is when it's sunrise or sunset, it just looks so much more better, so I like to take off at night, and so I get a little of the sunrise and the sunset. It just looks so beautiful. It's really I just think that that's when I mostly try to fly at. If I'm making a flight, because it looks really awesome. But then what somebody said too, if you're gonna fly at night, put yourself in a dark room, where it's dark. Not, which is good. But anyway, so I'm gonna try and get in here, and the thing is with the like to set up the views. first, because a lot of times the FSX, it won't let you zoom in and out. So I like to get that done right away. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that first, so that anyway, here we go. Why don't I hear any sound? There's no sound. Oh, maybe it'll come up. Yeah, there is sound. All right. Here, I want to do this really quick so I want to just set this one view in here. There's one view that, like this one here. If I turn this, and I move the eye point, which is control backspace. You can move the eye point forward here, and you can look out the window. Actually, I did this the other day, and it's like, well, it's the wrong way. I moved that the wrong way. I can't believe it. It's pretty neat. Looks kind of weird, but makes for a nice view. And the one view which I really like is that view, because after you start the thing, sometimes it won't let you zoom in and out. So you like to get there right away. So anyway, all right. And so I've actually made my own checklist. Can't zoom in and out now. on your nav lights on. Logo light. Well, here's my AI aircraft. Whoa, kind of neat. 747. 3. Kind of neat. So I'll put the fuel in. I'm going to do short range fuel. And payload, set that on max. Right. Then press B for the altimeter. See, this thing moved a little bit. Altimeter. You could actually put that in. If you turn this little knob here, you can put the actual number in there. Listen to the ATIS.
Denver Airport Information Uniform 1000 Zulu. Wind 241 at 11. Visibility 6. Sky condition clear. Temperature 20. Dew point 7. Altimeter 3006. ILS runway 25 and ILS runway 26 in use. Landing and departing runway 25 and runway 26. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, you have uniform.
There, I don't need to listen to that anymore. And also, I like to get these views in here. Wings. I think I already did this before. Oh, maybe. Oh, there's one thing I should do. It's like how you're supposed to get into an airplane. There's no stairs. So I suppose we need some stairs, huh? Now we can get into our airplane. And then I guess what I could do is get my flight. Get rid of some of that. So this is always fun to deal with. I think not. And A37 right there. I've always hated doing this. Still doing away, but I think this is our waypoint there. Yep. Oh, I think it's Utah. Yeah, here. Yeah, we fly over Salt Lake City, Utah. Actually, I did this flight already, just see how it would work. Kind of neat. It's pretty quick though. Before you knew it, I was at over in Salt Lake City. Before I knew it, I was descending already. It's kind of neat going over Salt Lake. Auburn is one of our waypoints there. Doesn't look right. Oh, maybe. Ah, that's not right. But I thought this. I don't know. Why? I don't understand why. That's not really important. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what why it looks so lopsided. Oh, maybe I just used the wrong one. I don't know. That looks terrible. Oh, I think I know what I did before. But, whatever, man. Well, hump, I know this is one of them. Ratty is one of them. And that's one of them also. Oh, there's one of Pentland. And Kimberly. accept. Pursued. I know it's here though. Cordo. I found it before. I don't know where to. Why can't I find it here? That is really strange. I found it the other day. Oh, kind of irritating. God, I know I did find. Oh, there it is. Yeah, like that. Oh, Boise. Boise, Idaho. There. Good enough. So then we should enter the flight. I always like doing it over here. Put in plan mode. I put in plan mode so you could step through it. One of the things I noticed is that if you're using this one over here, you can't step through it. But you can only do it with this one here, and I guess this one and the other one. But anyway, I may get into doing this how taking off runway 25. Oh, there we go. You got ground speed at 0 in there, so that means it's working. It's aligned. So in our departure, we're going to be using actually it's pretty nice to navigraphs. Will be Rockies 5 departure. This is the one I set up right here. And then Seattle, yeah, this is the one for into Seattle. Here, I did this flight before to see if it would work out. I don't think my runways didn't work. There, I was gonna try landing over here. Oh, I did that wrong. We're actually gonna be landing from the south, but don't matter, because they're landing on runway 35 or 34 left. So you come in here, you make vectors here and go back in there. And then this approach, actually the runway wasn't there, so the flight didn't work. Really made me mad. I just kind of had to, there was no runway there, because what do you expect? It's made a long time ago. 2006, I guess that's when they had it. So it'd be like 14 years. So anyway, here's the runway here. ILS 34 left. Some people say that you shouldn't put that in right away, but I usually do. I mean, otherwise you gotta delete it. I don't know, it kind of sucks. But anyway, put our departure in. Rockies 5. Then the transition would be Eaker. Then this is the arrival at Denver. You want Seattle is right here. You go over here. Using ILS 34 left. Then Chins 4. One using soon to there. I used that data link before on the long flights. I had ATC, Pro ATC. I use that, and actually it's kind of neat, but it takes a long time to set up. It's kind of finicky, you know, some of the stuff, but it does work. But I don't know, I'm to the point where it's like, so what, you know? But the flight planning part of it, you know, that's okay. And then I sat there and listened to air traffic control, trying to put my voices in, and you know, it's like, geez, so much work, you know. I mean, but it's kind of neat. It was kind of neat listening to air traffic control because you can get those on ATC.net or something like that. I think it is. But it is kind of neat to listen to the air traffic control. The one thing I was really surprised of is they actually really do it by the taxiways, you know, by going A taxiway, B, T, and they actually go through that whole thing. That was one thing that I was really surprised of. But I suppose, yeah, it would be important. Going the wrong way. Get lost. And one thing too, I always pick this one. It's the closest one. I used to try to look those up, and every time I sat there, I spent, I don't know, half an hour looking up the GPS coordinates, and it's always going to be the one on top. So why bother, you know? So I guess they do it by the closest one. Oh, and using that data link. Oh, that's what I was trying to say, is using that data link. Yeah, that's kind of neat. You know, when you got really long flights. It's putting all this stuff in by hand, even though I still do it by hand. Actually, I find myself doing it by hand anyway. Well, not always, no. You know, it's very. Sometimes I just do it all by myself anyway, but it is nicer having it all done for you with the data link. Then I use this for my weather. I like it. It's pretty good. I mean, I really yeah, it's nice. The regular weather in FSX isn't very good. Why is this thing working? I don't understand. Why isn't it? What? Now I can't get back into my flight? Why not? I can't even access the flight simulator now. What is wrong here? Oh no. Oh, because of that thing. Oh, that's right. That. Yeah, that's yeah, that gets to me sometimes. Yeah, because that's on there. Yeah, more than once that happened to me on that. A lot. And to get rid of that discontinuity, down, scratch that, and then there we go. Step through the plate. Right, looks good. zero fuel weight. Yeah, you gotta hit that, otherwise it won't work. That's one thing I forgot to do once. Flight at 360. Cost index 100. And outside air temperature is 20. Then there. And we're going to be using 10 degrees of flaps, which I was surprised of. I'd always take it off with 20 degrees of flaps, and I've flown in 747s. I always use 20. But with the newer one, I've seen that they use 10. I'm not really sure if it's, but I suppose you could take off with 20. CG. Alright, take off weight here. That's right. This I actually did buy the ESCO aircraft, escoaircraft.com or something. You can buy flight manuals. I bought one. Actually, I bought a few of them. I even bought actually the maintenance manual too. I found. But it says like 5 volumes. That was quite interesting reading the maintenance manual for a 747. That was pretty neat. But I wanted to use the real manual with the PMDG one. I was using the manual and the real flight manual, and everything just works perfectly. And can you imagine why? But I don't know why they don't give you more manuals to use. I mean, why they don't, but okay, so now we can get the clearance delivery. Maybe I should put in 12,000 before the ATC will, yeah, maybe I should. Usually I fly right by it, then the default ATC, they'll tell you to descend, and it won't work. That's why I really don't like the ATC. It's all right up until the flight when you're flying, but that's pretty hard to deal with their ATC.
Denver, clearance delivery. U.S. Air 5978, ready to copy IFR clearance to Amarillo. U.S. Air 5978 is cleared to Amarillo Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain.
One thing I forgot is this it's got to be on TARA. TCAS. I'm reading over the checklist to make sure I devised my own from the manual, because the manual they go through so much stuff that you really don't need to, so I just wrote down the stuff that's that you really need. Oh, the slope. Oh, that's one thing I didn't do here. Oh, here's where you put that in. Reference 20. Now the wind. Oh, now it's going to delete the airs. Wind 231. In the slope condition, it's this runway at 0. I can put some. I guess that's good for the Denver. Can put the ADFs in there. Actually, I should probably just do it. I'd like to put in a couple ADFs. If they got them. Seattle BOR. Then, of course, for the missed approach, I think it's. Radio 310. Then the ILS. What? I'm surprised. Oh, I think that would probably put it in later. We could put the ILS in. Yeah, one time I couldn't put it in there because I was only putting this part in. Just got to put the heading in. I've had some, yeah. Okay, well I guess oh, I gotta do the panel front here. Here, well, I'll put this one in there. Oh, I should have put on the packs. I got air conditioning. I got air conditioning unit out there. Heading some 260. And now I just put those on, that on. Now I just try to remember to put an L nav. V-nav. That's also, I forgot to do that when I'm on flight, and then they will not work, so I just put it in now. Okay, alright, that looks good. Oh, also maybe the ADFs. This one an ADF. So make sure those are off. You can put this in there. This is kind of neat to put in here. Oh, you gotta go like this. Then fuel to remain. If you want to dump fuel, I actually dump fuel with using this. Yeah, that's alright, it's pretty neat. So you should check that. In the real manual. Then check the fire control panel. I don't hear any noise. No, I might have taken it out. Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah, I think I might have taken that out. Huh. Alright, whatever. Then I have to put it back in sometime. Emergency lights. Now passenger oxygen, make sure it's on normal. Now damper switches are on. Select switch is normal. Equipment cooling is normal. Airflow is on. All the bleed switches are on here. I'm going to make sure those are all off right now. These fuel. And test these. And it's kind of neat. This is the first officer's responsibility, though. Oh, too far away. Do a test the flight recorder. Just hold this for 5 seconds. Cockpit voice recorder. And this is a squib test. Squib. It tests the electrical continuity between the explosive charge and the wires. So when you press the fire extinguishing agent, those will actually work. So that tests the wiring and the circuitry and that stuff, I guess. That's what that does. It's kind of neat. I'm going to check the oxygen system here. Make sure we got air. We wouldn't want to die, huh? You need air when you're going in an airplane, right? And then primary flight display, make sure to take off roll mode to get your V speeds there. Verify FDS is on. Stabilizer trim is in the green. 6. And set the parking brake. Oh, here it won't work unless you put this on aux. Now it'll come in there. And set this here. Okay, put this on RTO. Projected takeoff. On this, I like to put in VNAV. Let's see. Okay, now what I would normally do is save the flight just in case something happened to it. Oh, the one thing I just watched a video of somebody else about this well, here maybe it's kind of neat. Whatever. Sure my views are good there. And I'll save the flight. Yeah, that'd be Captain's Pre-Flight Complete. I'll call it number 3. And now it's Captain's Pre-Flight Complete. I wonder what time it is. 4:49. Okay, that part is good. Alright. Now, hopefully I didn't forget anything. We already asked for clearance delivery, right?
Denver, ground 748 heavy with Charlie, ready to taxi IFR.
748 heavy, taxi 2 and hold short of runway 25 using taxiway Alpha November Golf. Contact tower on 135.3 when ready. Taxi 2 and hold short runway 25 via taxiway Alpha November Golf. 748 heavy. Denver ground, American 7835 with Charlie, ready to taxi IFR. American 7835, taxi 2 and hold short of runway 26 via taxiway Charlie, Sierra, Lima, Echo, Echo, Mike, Romeo, Romeo 1, contact tower on 124.3 when ready. Taxiing, hold short runway 26 using taxiway Charlie, Sierra.
Before start checklist. Oh, actually, we gotta do the doors. We gotta open this. Start the APU. Oh. And I find one thing that's actually really neat. Listening to the APU start up reminds me of being in the Navy. Heard APU start up all the time. Now, starting the engines, we're going to have a couple of these off. It says to wait 5 seconds before you shut those things on or off. I mean, because it says in the manual, just wait 5 seconds. Otherwise, you could just reset the APU or something. You know what? Why not hear anything? You know, I think this is messed up here. I think the PMDG airplane is screwed up here for some reason. So I'm not hearing things that aren't supposed to be working. I'm gonna have to reload this. Yeah, unfortunately. So I guess, yeah, I suppose there's some things that aren't functioning in here, and but obviously you can't hear anything, and that's why I didn't hear the fire alarms. So I guess there's something wrong with this. So anyway, the only thing I could do is to save this video, and I will continue on to the next one. With starting from the pushback, before starting engines, before push. It's alright, I guess I'll just have to add this into my my second flight, or my second segment. Alright, thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, thanks.